Your timing is impeccable, buddy. Brian was here at 4:30 this morning, starting the brew off.
God. I didn't even know that.
So there's that end of it, but then there's also the social end where, like, on Friday nights, I hang out with our kids. There's your seat, Nick, right there. Thank you.
Snuggle.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi,
Jamie.
nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
I hang out with our kids on Fridays and until about 4 o'clock when she gets home from work, and then I just come to work at night. And it's nice to be like, every once in a while I'll run the pilot system in the back, and so people kind of come by and say hi and chat my ear off, and that's a really nice part of the whole thing. It's like, that's part of why we opened this, is like seeing the product get from here all the way through to a point where it's like a community focused thing, where like we have a ton of regulars that we get to just hang out with on Friday nights, on Thursday nights when we're around. So we enjoy it.
So what was that origin, or like how did it all come to be? Last Wave Brewing.
So that it started it was just sheerly like the waves were flat, and Nick and I were looking for something to do in January, and I was like, all right, why not? Let's try making our hand at beer, and it kind of slowly rolled into this obsession of like, what's the next piece of equipment we're gonna get, and what's the and kind of my brain ends up going to the tinkering thing. Well, this could be better this way, and this could be better that way. And
so started in your home? Like
Yep.
you guys just started
on the stove.
No surf.
Hot on the stove.
And
Yeah, we all live together too.
I see, gotcha.
Yeah.
After college, yeah.
And where was that?
That was in Brigantine,
Okay.
right outside Atlantic City, and so that's kind of where we got moving, and then and Dani kind of was with us the whole time, and eventually we got to talking about it so much that she's like, I don't want to hear about it anymore. Like, you either do it, do the brewery, or just find something else. It doesn't matter, but you have to pick one.
For us, it was a conversation of like, what would you do if you could do anything? He said brewery. I was like, well, we can do that. So
Yeah,
we're doing that
Yeah,
now.
you can, yeah.
So Nick moved to San Diego, worked at a brewery out there for a while, and I stayed home, made a whole lot of beer. And so there's a lot of things in the brewing business that are just not making beer. The making beer is just a small fraction of it. It's like, how do you, and when you're doing it at home, you like dump stuff. You're not pumping things everywhere and, needing to do all these things. So, Nick got a lot of really great experience out in San Diego.
Where in San Diego were you?
Mission Brewery, which is right downtown by the baseball stadium. Yeah, like I said, it's not just the making of the beer, it's the SOPs, like, the best ways to, clean tanks, the best ways to, open and close things, packaging, how beer gets in and out, through sales channels, all those things. So I would just go there and, I worked on the canning line, bottling line, watch some of the brewing stuff, and you're just taking notes every day and seeing, what you could take home, what you think works, what could then be improved upon.
So yeah, when Nick got back, we kind of really focused in on where, and I had always had a soft spot for Point Pleasant Beach. My aunt and uncle have been here forever. I spent summers here, and even into college, I would spend summers here working at Brave New World, and so Point was like kind of a thought, but we weren't exactly sure yet. And when more breweries started opening up and that kind of thing, we started getting into this zone of, all right, well, maybe it is Point Beach, and started looking at year-round population, talking about what would be a cool place to be, but also somewhere that really we could fit well in. And we knew it was going to be surf themed. That was just like the bottom line. When we first started talking about this, it was like going to be surf themed. And Nick's grandmother has a house in LBI.
How did Last Wave, the actual name, what does that mean to you guys? What does it actually mean to you as far as Last Wave, and how did that become the name?
One of the reasons we were doing this was so we could live at the beach, somewhere and have a life, not necessarily, have a life on our own terms, so to speak. And in surfing, right, eventually you have to get out of the water, so you have a last wave. Now, to say that in surfing is sometimes they consider it a curse, like you're almost jinxing yourself when you say you're going to get your last wave.
That's my curse.
Yeah, exactly. So, and we understood that going into it, but I think the concept or the thought behind it was that, right, like, you want that one to be your best wave of the session because that is the one you're going to remember, right? That's the one that's going to stick in your head. until the next time you go out there. So you want it to be your best.
Yeah.
You want it to be the best example of that surf session or whatever. And in a way, we wanted our beer to be that same kind of concept. You know, if this is, you're going to sit down, the idea with surfing and beer is you're getting together with your friends. There's a lot of, joking around, talking, telling stories. It's a very similar vibe. They go together very well. The idea with the beer is that, if you're going to sit down, come to Last Wave or have some Last Wave and sit down with your friends, that the idea that we want that feeling to kind of hold over until the next time you can get together with, friends or family and enjoy it. So that was kind of the tying theme there. And it all kind of came together pretty nicely.
That's very cool.
Yeah,
for
so-
me too, it's like the last wave. Once you get that last wave, and it is that really great wave,
Yeah.
you go for one more.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just like your customers.
Yeah.
I had one of those last week where I was like, we've all been burned there. You're like, oh, I'm going out for another one. And you sit there for
An hour.
Yeah.
Yes.
So with the surf garage at Nick's grandmother's house, that was kind of the basis of what we wanted this place to feel like, right? We wanted it to be just this homey, place where we felt comfortable and that was kind of indicative of how we view surfing and what we enjoy to do. So that's a rough idea. And so we were like, Dani, can you make this into a better idea of somewhere to actually hang out? And so she did a ton of massaging some of our terrible ideas or rough around the edges ideas to
vibe
making a
here.
vibe. Yeah.
It was supposed to feel like that surf garage that you hang out in. So everything is kind of handmade. We had family in here, literally, when we opened.
Making stuff.
Making stuff. When my grandmother was alive, she was painting some of the chairs and
great.
stuff. With the pallet wall, it was old pallets. We have the shingles from the Jersey Shore kind of houses. Everybody has the cedar shake.
Yeah, a lot of these chairs are from old reclaimed from
Yeah.
bars or getting rid of them, stuff like that.
Yeah.
The
It's held
actual
up.
broken boards,
Yeah.
Nick and Bert's
Yeah.
broken boards up there.
Got it.
Since we moved into this town, when we were painting everything and doing everything here, everybody's come by and supported. Everybody's wanted to stop by and be a part of it, which is really cool. We felt like we picked the right place when we weren't even open yet.
Is there any, you guys know a lot more about brewing than I do. Any other thoughts that you get, is your approach to brewing different, or how do you guys see yourselves in the world of brewing,
Yeah, I think both. Dani actually can't drink beer anymore, which is unfortunate. But we're working on some gluten-free projects that allow for that.
3 years in, we found that out. It's really fun.
But for Nick and I, how we have always really loved drinking beer, we came up drinking West Coast style beer, right? And so crisp, clean, things like IPAs that are clear. We love that stuff. But I think the theme for us here, the overarching theme is, can we get something for anybody that walks in this door to enjoy? And whether that is a blueberry pie inspired beer that we put in cans and have on tap, or the most resinous, punchy, dank West Coast IPA you can think of, that's what we're looking to have, and we're looking to have a plethora. I mean, we have 20 taps. Every once in a while, we'll bring in a kegerator to have more, just because there's too many ideas to flow out and make happen. But that's kind of the feel here, is we want to make some really true to style beers, but also have some fun experimenting and make sure that there's something on that board for anybody that walks in. So
Cool.
Nick used to have a saying that if somebody said they didn't like beer, he would tell them that they just haven't met the right one yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's held true, and that's one of the things we try to be. Sometimes, especially early on, you ran into this gatekeeper mentality with breweries, where you almost, it's like when you need a job, but you need a year of experience to get that first job. The same thing, people were sometimes breweries would come across as standoffish if you didn't know what this kind of beer was, and that was just something we've always been very. I don't know, it just seemed silly to us to not have fun with this, not take it seriously,
Right.
and make it approachable. Make anyone that, even if it's their first craft beer experience, that they're welcome into it, and it feels you're welcome here. So that was the idea. And our beers are approachable. They're generally stuff that's not, and we try to keep a core, even throughout this all, even as a home Main Street brewery, we have 5 beers on there that have essentially been always available on tap here since the day we opened, which is not something you necessarily see that often, especially in smaller breweries. It is that rotation nation. But for us, it was again, we have locals and regulars like to come in here, and if they find a beer they like, we want to have
Have it.
a couple different varieties of things that are always there that people can count on, because there are drinkers that want that. Not everyone wants a new IPA every week.
Yeah.
So we kind of looked at that as, approachable, as kind of like the way we do things, and it's really worked out. Like I said, there's not people, there's not a big hype, surrounding us, but we're consistently, we used to call it the worst kept secret, because people are like, oh, it's my first time here, and it's packed. It was always packed. So,
Right.
it's kind of worked out, whatever we've done, like I said, like Dani said, we made a place where people want to feel welcome, and they feel part of it too. We're taking, we're listening to the people that are coming in here on a regular basis. We trust them, they're going out there, they're willing to represent and bring their friends in. That's something we try to give back to the community as well.
Yeah, and
And
on
not-
top of it, go ahead.
I was going to say, not just in beer, actually, in kind of the environment that we have here. I think we've held on to some really great people. Like the people we've hired here, we all kind of want to hang out with. We try to really make sure that everybody enjoys hanging out behind the bar, everybody's friends, everybody gets along, because that then permeates into how everybody else is experiencing the place. So like, we tried to be approachable in both the beer that we're making and kind of everybody's experience when they come here.
Do you have favorites
Beer.
as far as favorite beers? A favorite?
When I could drink
moment,
beer,
yes.
it was Right Coast.
On the board right now, I love Sunset. It's one of my favorite beers that we make. It's a session ale. Again, very drinkable, but has layers to it that can be enjoyed. Like I said, you can enjoy it as just a beer flavored beer. There's a little more to it than that, so it's what you may want to make out of it.
I have no idea. I don't know. There's so many great flavors in beer that part of the fun for me, in the back is just experimenting with those. So seeing how each one comes out. I gravitate a lot toward crisper, cleaner beers like lager. But IPAs have caught my eye quite a bit in the last couple of months. So it's always something new. I'm
Seasonal.
always just checking in on
Yeah.
a whole bunch of them. So there's no wrong answer.
And what do you guys? You guys can get your beer here.
Yep.
And
Oh man, that's actually a Nick question.
Right now, Last Wave you can find obviously very heavily in the Monmouth and Ocean County areas. A lot of bars, liquor stores, some golf courses, country clubs. We work with a distributor throughout the rest of the state, so we're pretty much the entire state of New Jersey and even in Rhode Island. Actually, now we have some
Great.
distro up there. So I mean, yeah, pretty much wherever good beer is sold, hopefully you'll find Last Wave. And if you don't see it there,
Yes.
don't be afraid to ask for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, we're probably probably getting close to 200 different locations in the state, like where you
Wow,
can buy our
phenomenal.
beer. So yeah, it's been quite a ride.
Yep.
Yeah, and honestly,
always excited to see when I get into the packaged good area and see Last Wave.
Yeah, well, we appreciate that. And honestly, one of the other cool things, we've grown as a business down here in Point Pleasant Beach, and I think one of the things that's helped out with that is the community here, right? They just coming in, visiting, hanging out. And something that we've been able to grow into is the beer garden, right? Having a beer garden out to the side, and then the private event space, which has been just this really long time that took us a bit to get there, but we're finally here. So we got a cool space next door, and we get tons and tons of requests. Hey, do you have anywhere for me to have my son's first birthday party, or a rehearsal dinner? And we can't really close down the tap room to do that kind of thing, but now we got the space. So that's been really
That's
really
on site
cool
or it's
inside.
across the
Yeah,
street?
right across
Okay,
the
yeah, across the way.
yeah, so it's connected through the
Yeah.
beer garden kind of thing, but
Great.
it's separate enough where you could have an event, but not be,
Cool.
in the mix. Yeah, so if somebody's looking, doesn't really exactly know what they want out of a beer, ask the staff. Our staff is so nice; they're not going to bite your head off. They are here to help, and they have a pretty good working knowledge of this. We throw a lot at them. I mean, we have new releases almost every single week, but they have a great working knowledge of how to walk you through what flavors do you like, what flavors don't you like. Do you like chocolatey, dark, roasty stuff? Have you ever tried beer? Is this your first beer and you're 21 in 1 hour?
Are you more of
beer
a
you
wine
like?
person?
Is there a drink? Yeah. Do you like wine? We usually work to find a starting ground, a common ground, and then build the profile from there.
And they'll pour you a couple little samples.
Yeah,
Get
yeah.
you here's like a couple, what is even in the realm of possibilities. So we teamed up with a local restaurant. They're up in Asbury Park, Mogo.
Korean barbecue.
Korean fusion tacos. Yes, so
Yeah,
they actually
they approached us.
they approached us. We started talking about it and having some ideas. And that was a really fun exercise. It's like, okay, how can we make something that actually tastes good, but also kind of tastes like a hot sauce, you know? So they have this Asian pear hot sauce that is kind of a very cool concept. It's incredible on its own. We can't make it taste exactly like that, but so we take a sour beer and we hit it with tons of freshly juiced cucumber.
Like 100 pounds.
Yeah, it was 100 pounds. We literally, I mean, we sat at the bar and we just skinned cucumber for hours.
Yeah, just
And then, and pear. So it's pear, cucumber, and red
Green
pepper,
red pepper
flakes. So it's sweet from the pear. It's got this kind of soft, summery melon from the cucumber note. And then and this really gentle behind-the-scenes spice that I think you only really get as you take your second or third sip and as it warms up.
It really
but
balances out.
it's true-ish to the hot sauce, but it's in a beer package, and that was a lot of fun to make.
Yeah.
And that's probably the most out there beer we've made. You know.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone else has done something like that. So that was it was a great
That's fun,
challenge for
yeah.
us, and it's been well received. Like I said, I was there on this past weekend, and they were like, people are loving the beer. Even this version of it it's always slightly different, but yeah, it's been a big hit up there. So
So you make that
Yeah.
not just that was you make
That
that
hit
for them.
cans. Yeah.
too.
yeah,
It
there's
hit
a liquor
cans.
store
Yeah.
right next door,
Oh, I
and it's
see, yeah.
BYOB, so people go in, grab the beers, eat them with the tacos.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess something else we could talk about too is every year we do a collaboration with a restaurant called Hogitos.
Yeah.
And so Hogitos, I guess, also went to the same Rowan at the same time as you,
Yeah.
Mark.
Yeah. Some friends from college.
And so they make this sandwich called the Turkinator, which is like
Hogitos.
Hogitos. Yeah. So it's a
gourmet,
like
gourmet
small
small hoagie
Subs.
kind of. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And they make this sandwich called the Turkinator, which is what is it? It's on like Texas toast, I think. It's American cheese stuffing, cranberry sauce, and
mashed potato puree,
mashed potato puree,
fried turkey,
and
breast.
fried turkey breast. So we paired up this cranberry goza. So goza would be a sour beer with a touch of salt in it, and so it drinks so well with this lush, like savory sandwich, and then you have this crisp, clean, kind of tart cranberry connection. Also, other options as well. Yeah, we've usually got a non-alcoholic option. Depending on the state's ruling, it sometimes is coffee, but these days, sometimes most of the time it's non-alcoholic seltzer. As well as when people don't like beer, we have an alcoholic seltzer. It's fairly new for us, meaning in like the last month. But that's something that we're pretty well dedicated to having on tap. In addition to that, all of that stuff, we talked about Dani's gluten intolerance. So we have a project starting that is gluten-free beer.
I miss the taste of beer, and I know you can go to places and get seltzers, but I miss having beer. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like a me project.
Yeah,
that I would
it
like
is.
to be able to offer.
And the
decent
growing
gluten-free beer.
It is.
neat product need out
Yeah,
there, right?
right. Yeah. But you know, on the brewing side, it is very specific in not only just cleaning processes and stuff, but separate
The
equipment.
chemistry is different. The equipment is different.
So
the-
it's an endeavor. That's
to make
TBD,
it-
to be determined
Yeah.
on when we can finally release those. But
Because we want to do it the right way first
Right.
before
So you're the guinea pig?
kind of.
yeah, definitely.
Cool.